In today's video, the new Toyota Prado 250. Box. Apparently, there's a known issue which would be squealing brakes. At least this has been alleged to me. So let us get to the bottom of this and what you can do about it. I'd love to hear from you in the comments. Do you own a Prado 250? And if so, how have the brakes been going? Have they started squealing? And if so, what TF has the dealer done about it? Has he fixed it for you, or are you still in the pending tray, or are they just denying that this is a problem and hey, it's just an operational characteristic? Let me know in the comments. You'll be helping out a person just like you. Here's the communique that inspired today's report from a delightful lady named Stephanie, who writes incomplete sentences. Imagine that. That puts Stephanie in the top, I don't know, 3 to 5% of all Australians. The education system really does have a great deal to answer for in this country. Anyway, Stephanie goes, "Hi John, it's been suggested to me by a number of people that you might be the right person to draw attention to what many of us new Toyota Prado 250 owners are experiencing. A large number of us owners have what we've been told is a, quote, known issue, a loud, distracting brake squeal. Nothing says quality on approach just like squealing brakes, does it? Ford Pinto. I'm attaching a video so you can hear what our vehicle sounds like every day. Imagine that. Must so inspiring. Thanks for taking our money, Toyota. Really appreciate the undisclosed surprise and delight feature that you hit in the brakes. Arseholes. Mostly in reverse, but now in a forward motion as well. Lexus has. I love that she did that. Like most people would say Lexus have. Stephanie, you paid attention at school. Lexus is a singular entity. If I had my other thumb spare, you'd be seeing 2 of them up. Dude. Lexus has been actively fixing the problem for their GX 550 customers, but for us Toyota Prado 250 owners are being given the runaround. We're told Toyota's investigating or the dealer is waiting for parts, yet when we ask when the parts were ordered, they say that the parts haven't been ordered yet because Toyota Australia hasn't identified this as a warranty issue just yet. Personally, our vehicle has sounded like this for over 5 months now. That's got to be getting old. Many others have experienced this immediately after delivery. Imagine that. Imagine pulling into the driveway and all the neighbours are looking, a new car for the Joneses kind of thing. I'm curious if you might be interested in investigating or doing a video about it. Yes, I am Stephanie, and here we are. I've connected Toyota Australia by submitting a complaint twice, and they completely ignore me in their customer experience centre. That's not much of an experience, is it? Thanks, John, for your consideration. Regards, Stephanie. All right, Stephanie, I'll do what I can here. So what we're going to do first is I think we're going to ask the audience to chime in because I'd really like to know if this is a thing, and if it is, how widespread is it? So chime in the comments now, dude, and let me know about that. Then we'll deal with a couple of issues. Number one, what does Toyota do when there's a problem generally? Because they have got a track record of being mongrels about that. And then, if you don't mind, I think we'll get into some hacks that you might be able to pull off on your own and try and, if not cure, at least mitigate this problem. That's next. This report is sponsored by NordVPN. Get a mega discount plus 4 extra months of Nord for free now in my exclusive deal. Go to nordvpn.com/AEJC. Online security threats are everywhere, but you don't have to be the next victim. That's where NordVPN comes in, locking everything down securely in the background. Go to nordvpn.com/AEJC now. Every 2-year NordVPN plan receives that mega discount with the 4 free months and a bonus Amazon gift card on the Plus and Complete Nord packages for a limited time only. NordVPN.com/AEJC. Using NordVPN is easy. Just subscribe, download the app and connect. One click later, your IP address is shielded and your traffic is encrypted across as many as 6 of your devices. Nord is the fastest VPN on the planet. It costs only about as much as a single cup of coffee every month to keep your data, your identity, and your devices secure. Masking your location means you'll be able to access content that might be blocked where you live. Plus, you can continue to watch your favourite content when you travel. Boost your online security at nordvpn.com/AEJC now. Get that mega discount, enjoy those extra 4 months, plus the free Amazon gift card with the Plus and Complete packages for a limited time. It's all totally risk-free with Nord's rock-solid 30-day money-back guarantee. It's easy to stay safe online. Visit nordvpn.com/AEJC now. The first thing you've got to understand about Toyota, Stephanie, is that they're extremely reliable and generally very well-built cars. They're not exactly on the cutting edge of features, like they are the king of mediocrity. It'll take them another 1,000 years to put wireless Apple CarPlay in a frickin' Hilux, for example, but they generally don't do a bad job screwing the cars together, and they generally make them pretty reliable. But that doesn't mean they're perfect, and they do have the odd issue. They're also among the most dishonest car makers in Australia. Like, look at the way they handled the terrible problems with the DPF regeneration in the 2.8 diesel that affected Hilux, Prado and Fortuner owners, like hundreds of thousands of them. Misleading and deceptively dealing with that, like they should be hanging their heads in frickin' shame, and yet, oh, what a feeling, here we are. And all the beard strokers think they're just one step removed from Jesus, you know, like, come on. So what they do is they're mongrels when it comes to problems in their design, okay? When they design in a problem and customers experience it, Toyota are assholes. They have this wonderful strategy of just not acknowledging the problem, pretending it doesn't exist, just deflecting and, you know, we're perfect. And then after 1,000 meetings, they have 10,000 meetings where Toshi gets out his spreadsheet and talks about a whole bunch of options, and then they run, I don't know, 100 validation programs, and finally, after months, they roll out a fix like they're freaking heroes, okay? But in the meantime, customers are just hanging, going, I thought I was buying the most high-quality Japanese product available, kind of thing. And I suspect this has the sniff of that about it. I don't know anything about how widespread it is, but even if it's only one owner in 1,000, Jesus, where's the group of people who run out in the dealership and go, this is terrible, oh my God, we're on it. You know, it doesn't exist. It's like, yeah, it's a known issue, you know, come on. So they're going to deny it or pretend it doesn't exist or not acknowledge it, and they're going to do bugger all for months and months and months, and then they're going to roll out the fix and expect you to prostrate yourself on the ground as if, you know, the clouds have opened and God has said, you know what, I actually do exist. Suck it up, atheists, kind of thing. The bottom line is, though, that if you want to go down this track of just letting Toyota handle the problem, you're going to have to wear it for months, Stephanie. And I wish I was not the bearer of such bad tidings for you, but I think I am. Now, in the spirit of being a bit proactive, what could you do? What hacks can you pull out of the hat next to the rabbit to try and ameliorate this issue or just make it go away? I'd suggest you could pay someone or even do it yourself. You could get the wheels off the car and roll out the compressed air and spray the whole brake apparatus with compressed air and get rid of any dust that might have built up anywhere. That could work. okay? If you're going to do this, you better know how to get the car up in the air and get the wheels off. You better wear at least an N95 mask because the shit in brake dust is bad for you. You need a compressor to do that. I'd also wear safety specs whenever dealing with compressed air, and I would not spray my skin if I knew what was good for me. So there's all of those things to consider. You could just roll up to your local mechanic and say, hey, dude, the brakes squeal. Could you investigate for me and see if it's dust build-up or something? Could you just get the wheels off and have a bit of a spray and see what else you can see? So another thing you could do, and this will be going outside the Toyota Fix network, but you could reach out to Bendix or Disc Brakes Australia. These are quality companies in the aftermarket domain. They deal with brakes. They're real brake experts in Australia. So if this is a known issue, then Bendix or Disc Brakes Australia can probably roll out a fix quicker than Toyota because they're just more nimble, and they will identify a demand for that fix in the market if it exists, right? So they'll be on it. You'll obviously be out of pocket if you implement their fix, but it's likely to be a better fix than the fix Toyota is maybe going to come up with at some indeterminate period of time in the future. So I'd further suggest that on a fundamental level, that acoustic noise like squealing or any other acoustic noise when you're braking is a material compatibility issue between the pad and the disc. And odds on it's the pad because the disc is somewhat more inert than the pad. You know, it could be in isolated, like remotely possible that the surface finish on the disc is dodgy. Okay, it could be that, or it could be the way the surface finish evolves in service is kind of dodgy, but it's more likely to be something to do with the pad because brake pads look mundane, but they're actually pretty complex because they have to manage the transition between kinetic friction and static friction. You know, when you stop and actually go from V equals 0 plus a tiny bit to V equals 0, the coefficient of static friction reaches in and goes, and that can make you do that. They've got to resist fade at high speed. They've got a lot of shit to do, brake pads, and they've got to last for an acceptable period of time as well, right? So there's all these conflicting demands upon them, and sometimes something just slips through the cracks and they end up glazing something over, or maybe they leach something out of the compound and it turns into something else under load, or Christ knows, right? But one of the things you might be able to do here is just go somewhere safe, and it's got to be safe, and you've got to have a reasonably high level of driving skill to do this. I wouldn't be doing it with the kids on the way to school kind of thing. But if you go to a nice, safe, quiet road with a 100 kilometre an hour speed limit and check all around that there's no one just driving up your clacker or even visible behind you, get along at 100 k's an hour, jam on the brakes, do a really, really hard stop. Okay, check the tyre pressures before you do this, and do not attempt it if you don't have the skill to do it safely, okay, or you don't know how to pick a safe spot to do it. I think that's probably enough caveats, but I would do 3 back-to-back hard stops, like really hard ABS activation stops from 100 k's an hour, because that might be enough just to recondition the surfaces, to heat them right up, and to recondition the surfaces to the extent that they don't squeal anymore. And it might not work at all, but it's worth a shot, right? So you could give that a crack if you can do it safely. But, you know, if you reach out to Bendix or Disc Brakes Australia and they go, yeah, we've crossed that bridge, we know about this problem, we've got a set of pads that will solve that, just go to them, do that, right? Now, if you are the owner of a Prado 250, and they do look pretty cool, but I think they've dropped the ball in so many ways on this vehicle, Frank, Toyota. I'd have to say, I'd love to know what your experience is of it. Has it been the best car ever, or has it actually been a bit of a shitbox? You know, is it a bit disappointing in some ways at least? Because according to Toyota's marketing, it'll be best Toyota ever, like every other Toyota, obviously, but Have you had the brake issue? What did you do about it? Have you solved it? And if so, who did you reach out to solve it with? And how did that go? And how much did it cost you? You'll be helping out Stephanie and, by extension, everyone else who's currently grappling with this problem. Thanks for watching.